Recommended to do this.
Right. We can just carry on, Chair. Can we just carry on? Right, so we are reconvening and we are going to suspend the standing orders.
Hang on.
So the proposal before the adjournment was to suspend standing order 3W. We haven't actually been running for 2 hours yet because obviously we had a little break anyway, but just to avoid having to do it later, to be easier to do it now. We're suggesting an hour maximum. Hopefully we won't take that long, but it just sorts us out for going forward. So over to you.
Do we need to
So
vote on that?
did I have a proposal, please? And a seconder? And all in favour? Thank you, that's it. So we move on to item 12, which is new policies and strategies. Now, the purpose of this report is to consider and adopt the following policies and strategies. We have already done it. All these policies and strategies have been sent, have been passed by the relevant committees. So I'll ask Sabrina to introduce and discuss these items. Any questions or comments we'll take.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I think obviously these have been out for a while and they've been on the committee agendas as well, so they have been debated and amendments have been made as per those committees' requests. So unless anybody's got anything specific on any item, perhaps we can look at moving them on block.
I'm happy to propose we move it on block unless
So
anybody's
I
got anything.
propose, please, and seconder.
I'll second.
And so can we move this to the vote?
In favour?
All in favour? That's carried. So item 13 is the local council award scheme, and that is page 126 to 141. And this is, very quickly, to consider the report and approve the application for the Gold Quality Award. Do we have a proposer? Do we have a seconder? Sabrina, would you like to discuss this scheme? And then we'll have any questions and then move to the vote.
Yes,
Once it's discussed.
thank you.
and understood.
So this is part of the corporate strategy that we apply for this award. It is in the strategy that we go for the foundation award, but as we've sort of gone through the past year, putting policies together, we do have everything in place now to go for gold quality. We can, I've checked because I was asked before the meeting whether we can, if we go for that, if we don't get it, do we have to pay again to go for the lower level award? And I've had confirmation back from NALC that that is not the case. So what they do is they work with you as a council to try and get you through that award. So if you apply for it and there's something missing, they will give you that feedback and give you the time to work on bringing that to them to then get you past through it. In rare circumstances, the panel might agree that they'll just award you a lower level, and then obviously if you want to go for the higher level at that at another date, then you would pay the registration and everything again for that level. So I feel that we've got everything in place, and I feel that we do operate well as a council. So I would recommend that you try for the Gold Award. It does last for 4 years, so you don't have to reaccredit for some time. Because at the moment you have a clerk with a qualification, now is the time to do it if you're going to do it. If you don't do it now and you don't appoint somebody with a qualification, you won't be able to go for gold status or even quality status. You will only be able to get foundation.
Anybody would like to
Tim
ask
first.
questions? Tim first.
Apart from a shiny thing on a letterhead, what advantages does it give us?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, you know, it's obviously people want to know what we're doing as a council, and we're trying to be more open and transparent. And I think if we got something that says, yes, actually, we have got policies in place that mean that we are doing what we should be doing, I think that is a big plus. I think, do we need, part of this is for if we wanted to go for the powers of general competency, or we don't need that. But yeah, I just think it just shows that we are actually doing what we're supposed to be doing to the public. When you know, obviously we're trying to justify our existence to a certain extent, and they've got no measure of that. So it's one of those things that I think is probably it's not actually that costly, and it just shows that we are doing what we're doing. And if we're not doing what we're doing, we get a few pointers.
Oh, I think as Councillor Frost.
Yeah, I think if you look at I know it's slightly outside the game, but if you look at a builder or something like that, they belong to a trade body, you know they're reputable. Same sort of thing with us. We have over the last 4 years or 3.5 years been building this up to what it used to be to what it is now, and we have got a good council now. And going forward, I believe an award like this really would be the cherry on the top.
I just feel slightly uncomfortable. As well done on your qualifications, Sabrina, but if you go, it feels a little bit like we're cheating.
You're not cheating, because at the time you apply, it's where you are at there. If you even if you don't get somebody that's qualified, they ought to be working towards that qualification anyway. So it will come back at some point.
Okay.
So I don't think you should feel that you're cheating. It's
Like his builders, and then somebody else gets an apprentice in.
Yeah, it could be an
you go
cycle, so you have to try and keep them, don't you? But
okay.
Yeah.
Not much, is it?
I think Ross.
I just looking at a couple of things on the quality award, which presumably you've got to have everything on the quality award before you can be considered for the goal.
Yeah.
And there's one, there was councillor profiles. I mean, I'm not aware of having done anything like that. I guess that would be a fairly easy one to remedy.
Yes, so Sally has contacted everybody and asked them to provide her with information. So some councillors did this right back in when they were first elected. Obviously it wasn't you, but when the first elections came round, some councillors did provide that information. So she has been contacting councillors asking for that.
The one I've had was to do with other interests. Interesting. I've not had anything else.
It was fairly close to the start of June, I think, that she sent that round. Some people have responded, so perhaps.
I responded to one about updating my
Register of interest.
register of interest, but I've not seen anything else. I must go back and have a look. The other one, which evidence showing how electors contribute to the annual town meeting. I mean, that's I couldn't make that. Is that?
Well, we did have public there this time because we did a different thing. We had the awards giving ceremony and stuff, so we did have community groups and the public there.
And so those evidence.
Just it's more of a question really. Would having this award help us, say when we are applying for grant funding, just to know that we are reputable, you know, it shows that we have got all these policies in place. Would it assist in that sort of thing as well?
Absolutely. It will assist in sort of giving that impression that we are a professional organisation. And for grant funders, they want to know that you've got your safeguarding policies in place, you've got equalities and diversity policies and training for your staff. They want to know that you're meeting all the sort of the buzzwords, as it were, of the time. It also helps to raise your profile when you're dealing with the borough council or the county council as well, because we're showing actually we've strived to be something more professional, because we're not looked favourably on by those organisations because they're much bigger and parish councils aren't seen in a great light. It's not just us, it's nationwide. So anything that you can do helps with raising the profile and and making those relationships better.
I mean, I think we should be aspirational. I think that is one of the buzzwords, isn't it? So personally, yeah, I think,
I think it will make us stand out more.
Mm.
And
For all the wrong reasons.
it's, as, I like the analogy that you gave about, you know, the builders and things like that with their accreditation and things. So I would recommend this to the council, but I'm going to move it to the vote if nobody has any more questions.
I'm happy to propose that we go for the
And
gold award.
I have a seconder.
Yeah.
So I would like to move to the vote, please, that we adopt this. And I think that is, David, any abstentions? Any,
Against you're looking for.
so, thank you very much. And now item 14, which is casual vacancies. Two of our councillors have not been attending, so therefore they are expelled. I think that's the right word. One is Eileen Atherton from Stapleford North, but sorry, David.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I thought quite a lot about this, and I have to say that excuse me, I have to say that we have 3 more council meetings after this, and I find it, to be honest, I think they should stay on statute because the election's going to come up next May, and on top of that, I don't see why personally that we should waste money on the election for 2 seats. So I'm not happy about it.
Well,
I understand, I do understand why it's on here. But I think they should stay. I propose that they stay. And obviously that will keep the, and we won't have to pay
well,
any
this
more
is
money.
going to cost us thousands of pounds, but
Absolutely.
sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Chair. What they've done is fallen foul of Section 85 of the Local Government Act, and they are just immediately terminated. We can't approve that they stay. That is just the law. They have just not met the requirements of attending meetings. They only needed to attend 1 in a 6-month period, and they haven't done that. And so they are just automatically off. And that means that we have to declare the vacancies, put up the notice for election, and hope and pray that nobody puts in for an election because we can't afford it. And for the sake of 7 months and 3 meetings, as Councillor Grindle says, is there really any point in somebody pushing for an election? But it's out of our hands. We have to follow this process.
Can I, Madam Mayor, can I come back?
Yes.
I want to make this clear because I don't want anyone to think that there's that the town clerk is not right in what she's saying. And I'm going to quote from from the Borough Council. We had this particular thing about a councillor, okay, and obviously it has to then come to the council, like it comes to this one. And because the council thought that this should continue because of the election coming up next May. That's what the borough did, but it has to come to the council. And if you decide, all of you around this table, that that these 2 councillors are no longer councillors on the town council, and you want to pay out all this money, then go ahead. But I think my advice would be no.
Councillor Patterson.
Given what David said, I just wondered if we could look into it anymore? Is there a loophole?
It has happened at Borough.
Just to have a look,
Quite recently.
because like everybody says, it's only, is it 3 meetings, were you saying? Just see if there is any way that we could we defer this item.
You can't defer it. The thing is, Eileen was done on the 6th of May, Dan was done on the 4th of June. I've missed Eileen, so it didn't go to the annual meeting. But Daniel's obviously is happening between meetings, so the borough have said we need to put it on this council agenda to declare the vacancies and put the notice up.
Right.
So, I mean, if you wanted to delegate that decision to me in terms of finding out some information, and if I can avoid doing it, then I will.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm going to have to put the notice up. So,
Madam Mayor.
Councillor Hallam, it's, just excuse me, David, it was Councillor Hallam first.
Oh, sorry, Councillor
Just
Hallam.
let him have his say.
I think it was Sinex. I'll defer. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with what Sabrina says. If we can actually defer to yourself to basically investigate this to as full as to your ability, to see if there is anything we can do, then we can make sure that everything is ticked off in the right way.
Back to Tim and then I'll have something to say.
As I see it, this is absolutely just enshrined in law. You know, I've been through that particular document on a number of occasions to because it's so vitally important, particularly, you know, in my capacity that I frequently run as an election agent. You just have to know it, and it's set in stone. There's nothing we can do about it. There were exceptions granted during COVID. There are occasionally exceptions granted on the basis of health and stuff like that, but really and truly, it'd be stretching it. So now I don't think there's any desire normally when somebody, you know, gathers 10 electors together to go and you know, call for an election, which is the proper process after the notice is put up. Normally that's done by somebody of political motivation in the local area. We all know who's done it in the past, and you know, it's even though it's members of the public. I don't see that there's any desire for anybody to do that. I'm not particularly worried that I think that would happen, but if it does, it does. Thereafter, if nobody calls for an election, the advantage is that somebody else might get to put their name forward for co-option. And so, albeit there are only a few meetings left, you know, maybe somebody wants to dip their toe in before putting their hat in the ring at the All Ups next year, and this will give them an opportunity to do so, and it won't cost the taxpayer a penny. So I would say we've just got to accept that this is what it is. But I'm just trying to reassure people that I don't think anybody's got any desire to call an election and actually cost the money. But we could get some new councillors who want to contribute. So, you know, it's all for the better, really.
I withdraw my statement.
Councillor Grindell.
Well, the only thing, I thank Councillor Hallam for what he said. I understand that. I would suggest that this gets deferred until next meeting, and the town clerk, if she wishes, can check with the lawyers at Broxton.
Councillor, I'm sorry, it's like Councillor Hallam said, it's enshrined in law. We can't defer it. It's not a decision to be made. It's just we are noting that this has happened, and we are now going to declare the casual vacancies. I do appreciate the arguments for trying to defer it, but it's not possible. The law is automatic.
Can I propose that we note this, Madam Mayor?
Sorry.
Can I propose that we note this?
Yes, and I'll second that. We note it.
Is there Madam Mayor?
It's noted.
It's noted.
Yeah, can you doubly note it? Thank you.
Madam Mayor, is there a statutory size that you have to put forward?
Cool.
That actually
Can we
is.
just put it on the notice board?
Yes,
Invisible ink. But what I will say about the borough one, David, was
Yes, I'm listening.
there were extenuating circumstances. One girl one of the councillors had had a baby, and there were lots of problems and things with that baby, and so they allowed her to stay. I don't know how they did that, but they must have obviously.
I as mayor of the borough, was brought this case obviously because I need to know everything that's going on in the borough and chairing, so, I actually pulled it from the agenda because of the situation that this particular lady was in.
And because she turned up to the meeting.
And then she turned up to the meeting, which made it very helpful for me, of course.
Right, well, thank you for all your comments and everything, and we'll see that form of notice is sorted as.
Shelved down in the.
Right, so item 15 is the exclusion of press and public bodies.
Yeah, get out. Nobody here.
Yeah, it's over here. Admission to meetings, Act 1960. Have you told them?
Not yet, we need to move in second.
Oh, sorry.
I propose that we do that, yeah.
Yes, thank you. 'Cause
Go to a vote.
then, can we vote for that, please? Everybody's very much in favour.